each control 5 minutes. The chair recognizes the gentleman from New York.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I always view military policy as a measure of military action as a measure of last resort in our foreign policy. When the American military is engaged anywhere in the world, it often comes at the cost of American lives and the lives of innocent civilians. These are the most tragic costs of war, one reason why we can never, ever be reckless in the use of military force. Civilian casualties are a tragedy. They also give extremist groups fodder to radicalize and recruit new fighters. We need to do everything in our power to reduce the number of civilian casualties. The Pentagon has made progress in this area, thanks in part to new requirements Congress put in place. My amendment would build on this progress in a number of ways. First of all, it would help fill in the blanks when it comes to our own planning and reporting about civilian casualties. Right now, there tends to be a big difference between what the Defense Department estimates in terms of civilian casualties before a military strike and what the department reports after. And again, a big difference between our official reporting and what NGOs report. My amendment would require a new analysis of these disparities to help figure out why we're getting it wrong ahead of time and why there's such a wide range of reporting after the fact. Secondly, while the Pentagon has done good work developing sound policies in this area, more must be done on implementation. My measure would improve consistent standards across all the combatant commands. Thirdly, this amendment will help improve the way we gather information about civilian casualties. It will establish new criteria and methods to assess allegation of casualties, and it will make sure we work more effectively with local populations. Lastly, we need to understand that the Defense Department needs to keep learning and adapting. My amendment would require standards for incorporating lessons learned so our policies and practices will continue to improve as time goes on. And because this is a learning process, I'll say that this amendment won't give us a perfect policy. We need to keep working toward more comprehensive, responsible ways of preventing and addressing civilian casualties. We need to keep giving the Defense Department the tools it needs to do so. This measure will provide a few more of those tools, and I'm glad the House is able to consider it today. I reserve the balance of my time.
The gentleman reserves. For what purpose does the